Hello gang, Barry Holmes here, the chief down at his little educational hub, bringing you another amazing nutritional video. I do apologise that I've not sent any more of these out over the last few weeks. I've just been really busy doing other things, but deliberately having a rest day today. I rested for the majority of yesterday, and I won't be doing any training until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is going to allow me to recover properly, get some decent food in, recharge the batteries. And I thought, well, I might as well stick this one on, and kind of, it's a bit of a follow-up really from what we did previously. We looked a little bit about the essential nutrients. I gave you some information about how to calculate your energy needs. So we're going to take that forwards a little bit now, and we're going to focus on one specific macronutrient. And for me, it's the most important one, because it's the one that energizes us. It's the one that gives us the fuel that the body needs to get through its daily tasks. And that's carbohydrates. And as I put there, it's the fuel that feeds the fire, and that's exactly what it is. Essentially, we're kind of like a steam engine. The fire's burning away there, and we're constantly putting fuel in during the course of the day to allow that fire to burn bright, to give us to give the engine the steam that it needs, so it can go at its maximal speed and perform at its maximal level. So with carbohydrates, you know, there's a common misconception that cutting your carbohydrates out is a good way or a good strategy. And for me, it's an absolute disaster if you was to do that. You look at these low carb diets, you look at these zero carb diets, they're an absolute nightmare. I know, because I've done them, I've tried them. Okay, they make you feel terrible. You've got no energy. The body starts to attack the wrong type of substitute energy, which we don't want. We think we're burning fat when we're burning proteins and amino acids. It's a definite no-no. None of my clients who are currently on any of my nutritional plans are on a zero-calorie diet or a low-calorie carb diet. We eat carbs in abundance, because without carbs, fat doesn't burn efficiently, for one. And when you deny yourself carbs, the body looks for a different energy source. And rather than that be fat, it's more often than not, it's actually protein. And over time, if you was to stick to that particular diet where the body's constantly attacking protein, you get less and less and less muscle. And what burns fat more than anything else? It's muscle. And if you've got less of it, what's that going to actually do? Exactly. Yeah, it's going to make you into a fat person rather than a fat busting person. So hopefully by the end of this session today, you'll go away thinking to yourself, I need to eat carbohydrates. And everything that I teach you today is scientific. It's not my opinion. Okay, this comes from the top echelons of those who know what they're talking about. So carbohydrates, the fuel that feeds the fire. It's carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. It predominantly gives us energy. That's its main purpose. And that energy comes from glucose. So when we eat and consume carbs, it will be broken down. The glucose will then go into the bloodstream, and then that glucose, some of it will stay in the bloodstream, some of it will go to the liver to be stored to help with brain functioning, and the rest will go into your muscles, and it will be stored as what we call glycogen. Now, the reason that you've got to keep topping up on your carbohydrate stores is because, unlike fat, which is stored in large quantities in the body, glycogen stores, okay, there's only a small amount of storage capacity. About 400 calories in your liver and about 1100 for all of your muscles. So you've got many muscles, and about 1100 calories will be spread out amongst all those muscles. So not a lot of storage really, especially if you was to do like a 10-mile run and you're predominantly using your legs, okay, and those legs need energy. They need that ATP to be broken down, and that energy to be released, and it's constantly looking for a supply of glucose. And if you not give it anything, then where does it get its energy from? And as I said to you before, it certainly won't be from fat. It might get a small amount from fat. More often than not, it'll actually be from the catabolic nature of breaking down amino acids in what's called gluconeogenesis. And it's a big no-no. We don't want that. We want to be fueling steadily. We want to be keeping these levels nice and high. And then after training, we want to be topping up, just like today. I'm having a rest day, topping up everything, filling up the cupboards. Okay, I've emptied the cupboards a little bit over the last few days. I'm now stocking them back up again. So the two main types of carbohydrates, okay, there are many examples of carbs that we eat daily, but there are only two main types, and we call them simple sugars and complex sugars or complex starches. Now, simple sugars are things like chocolate, things like honey, sugar. We've got things like cakes and that type of thing, fruit juices, fizzy pop. They've got lots and lots of sugar in. You know, you look at Coca-Cola, look at the amount of sugar in that per 330 millilitres. It's an absolute eye-opener. If you was to pour it all on the desk now, you'd be like, realise that how much sugar's in it? And we call them empty calories because they give you energy, but there's nothing else in them. Whereas in complex carbs, you've got vitamins in there, you've got minerals in there, you might have a bit of protein in there, you're definitely going to have some fibre in there, you might have a little bit of fat, which you need in your diet anyway. And certainly the whole grain varieties of complex carbs are a lot better to consume than the simple ones. But what's interesting about that is if I had sugar, okay, if I had 10 grams of sugar in my hand and I had 10 grams of potatoes, from an energy point of view, they both would give me 4 calories per gram. So all this sugar, this 10 grams of sugar would give me 40 calories, and this 10 grams of potatoes would give me 40 calories. But there's nothing in this apart from sugar. We want the vitamins, we want the minerals, we want all the other goodness that comes from that, and that's why eating the complex carbs is a lot better than eating the simple sugars. Now, you can have simple sugars in small quantities, little treats now and then. Absolutely life for living. But the mainstay of your diet that comes from carbohydrates wants to be from complex sources. Now, I don't know if you remember me telling you in the last video, if you watched it, that you need to consume between 50 and 60% of your daily allowance from carbs. All right, so if you've got one of these sophisticated watches and you left it on for 24 hours, it would tell you how much energy you would have burnt off. That would be your daily energy needs. So let's just say it was 3,000. Okay. And let's just say we're going to consume 60%. I tend to consume a little bit less than that, more towards 50. Certain weeks it might be 55. But let's go for 60%. So that would be 1,800 calories that you would consume. But food is measured in grams, so you just divide that by 4, okay, and that would give you 450 grams. So that would tell you how many grams of carbs you would need, and obviously they would come from complex sources as much as possible. One, because they fill you up, really. If you have simple sugars, if you eat chocolate, what happens? 10 minutes later, you want to eat the same chocolate again, don't you? Before you know it, you've consumed 60, 70 grams of sugar, which plays havoc. The pancreas goes crazy, blood sugars go all over the show, fat cells open, all that sugar goes in, and you get fat quite quickly. So it's important to know this and apply it in your own everyday lifestyles. With complex carbs, we're talking things like bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, vegetables, fruit, and that type of thing. So try and remember this, because it is important, and understand why kind of consuming this, keeping your glycogen stores topped up, is going to stop you from attacking muscle, which we don't want, and it's going to make you into a fat burning machine, because fat only burns in the flame of carbohydrates. Okay, I always remember that from when I did my nutritional course many years ago. So if you're not eating carbs, okay, you won't be burning fat efficiently. And in some instances, if you don't eat carbs at all, you won't be burning fat at all. It'll just be protein that you're attacking, and that is a definite no-no. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about glycemic index. I'll probably do that another time. Glycemic loading, where you can combine foods in specific ways. Certain complex carbs will have fast releasing sugars and slow releasing sugars. Gets a little bit complicated then, and start losing track of what I want you to really get out of this. But that's just like a basic overview of what carbohydrates are and why they're important to energize you. But how do we apply this to blood sugar levels? I always say to my clients when I'm talking about blood sugar levels is it's the most important consideration in order for you to have good weight management. If you ignore the importance of blood sugar levels and balancing them during the course of the day, you'll always struggle with your weight, always. And if I show you this little diagram, hopefully it'll make it a little bit clearer. So if I've got a little diagram here like this, okay, a little X and Y axis, and if we call this time, so this is time during the day, and this is blood glucose, all right. Now, during the course of the day, depending on what you're doing and how intense you're doing it, your blood sugar levels should be balanced like this during the course of the day. So let's just say that's 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's, say, 11 o'clock at night. It's nice and balanced. And once it's balanced like that, you're always burning carbs. So these glycogen stores are being used, you're topping them up, and you're always burning fat. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because if you start doing things that are quite intense, it can change the ratios of that, but I'm going to save that for another time. But basically what I'm trying to teach you on this is that if your blood sugar levels drop low or they drop too high, it can play havoc with blood sugar, okay, and it can play havoc with energy levels because you get this up and down dips, and then you'll get high peaks, then you'll feel low, and then you'll feel high, okay, and then you'll also get problems with the body getting too much sugar in at one point. Fat cells open up, will store it, or you have really, really low levels of blood sugar where the body attacks muscle. And this is how it works, okay? We want it to be like this. If you eat steadily during the course of the day, that's what we'll get. But if you make some common mistakes, let's just say for argument's sake, during the course of the night, your blood sugar levels drop, okay? And they drop to quite low levels. When they're low, glycogen stores will be low, glucose levels will be low. The body will react to that. It'll look for an energy source, amino acids, proteins. And I say this all the time. We get people who'll have nothing to eat, and then they'll go and do a 10-mile run first thing in the morning. And not anything. Absolutely nothing. Where are they going to get the energy from? Fat? Maybe a small amount, but not much. They're going to catabolise their own muscles. Gluconeogenesis. Look it up. Okay? It's a definite no-no. I'm always fueling. First, most important meal of your day is your breakfast. That's going to bring your blood sugar levels up. Okay? If I'm going to train, what I'll do is I'll eat before. Okay? It'll come up. I'll train. It'll start dropping down. I'll eat my breakfast. It'll go up again. And what I'm looking for during the course of the day is points during the course of the day where I'm eating so that this doesn't go too low, or it goes too high when I'm absolutely starving. And when I'm absolutely starving, the only thing I want to eat, okay, is chocolate, cakes, and all that's got loads of sugar in it. And when it spikes too high, what happens? Fat cells open up and consume that excess sugar. Pancreas is going bananas. Yeah, glucagon's being released. Insulin's being released. It's all going everywhere. Certain amount of blood sugar levels go down, they go up. The liver's having glucose taken from it. Muscles are having glucose taken from it. The brain's going crazy. We don't want that. We don't want that disorder. We don't want that carnage. We want everything balanced during the course of the day. And I always say to people, if you eat 5 or 6 meals a day, small meals, you'll balance your blood sugar levels nice and steadily. And when you do that, you'll always be burning carbs and you'll always be burning fat. Rather than miss out your breakfast in the morning, blood sugar levels drop really, really low, start attacking protein, starving by 11 o'clock, eat as much as I can, blood sugar levels are too high, fat cells open up, drop down, might have a little bit of dinner, bit of a salad, yeah, which has got about 50 calories in it, it's no use to anybody, drops really low again. You get this up and down effect, breakfast, dinner and tea, 3 meals a day. Okay, you ain't going to balance blood sugar levels doing that. Okay, 6 meals a day, starts to drop, you're eating, starts to drop, you're eating again, starts to drop, you're eating again, starts to drop, you're eating again, you're balancing it. And when it's perfectly balanced, you'll always be energized, okay, and you'll always be a fat burning machine. So that's just a little bit of an introduction into the importance of eating carbohydrates and how it's important to balance blood sugar levels during the course of the day by eating your carbs, by making sure you get those 450 grams of carbs in every day, you know, to keep it balanced, because fat only burns in the flame of carbohydrate. Remember it, guys. Okay, I eat carbs like they're going out of fashion. My body fat's about between 12 and 15% all the time. It never ever goes higher, ever. Okay, well, maybe if I go on holiday and have a bit of a blowout, it might go to about 17, 18%. All right, because I'm a fat burning machine, because I eat like this, I make sure I'm eating my carbs, because I understand the science behind nutrition, and add it to your game. You might be super fit, okay, but are you energized? Are you feeling physically and mentally strong all the time? Because if you're not, okay, it could well be that you're not doing this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, I'm going to bring you another one on fats and proteins, hopefully in the next few weeks, and then I'll talk a little bit about how certain workouts are better than others when it comes to fat burning. We'll call it a wrap there. I'm starting to feel the very, very mild symptoms of hypoglycemia. My belly's starting to rumble. I'm listening to my body. Okay, I've got an apple. I'm going to eat it in a minute. It's the Chief down at his little educational hub. I hope it was all made sense to you. If you've got any questions, feel free to message me. Go on my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook. See you all later, kids.